We crawl before we walk. We teeth before we talk. We love before we die, our feelings bleed before we cry. We may be blind, but we can see shadows walking on clouds in the sky as the sun intensifies its flames and burn pity from our names. Our hearing might not be accurate, though we listen to anger flapping its wings of pain on two-colored lips. We may be weak in our movement, but time runs with us through drums in our hearts, calling ancestors to guide our lives as we journey through the wilderness, leaving behind sadness, only to encounter flashes of happiness and become an object in a painting of eyes while the world revolves around lies, dividing what is and what should be. We are reflections of reality, providing light inside a mental cave and showing truth from illusion. We exist between chaos and confusion, piercing through smoky spaces with our heavenly voices and shouting, we are alive, we are alive. We have been alive before reality slain our backs, scarred our pride. And here we stand in the center of attention, breaking chains that enslaved our dreams, the same chains that distorted our speeches. Yet we personally spoke to God when the world denied to listen to our poetic sounds, channeled through a voice that echoed and 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 echoed mountains to stones. We brought warmth into cold homes. We are artists painting a perfect picture of life, yet not accurate, because our images are surreal. Yet we celebrate the awakening of triumphants such as us, because we have been longing to walk the path of legends. When that moment of clarity appears, and that moment, Maafrika Mantle, that moment is now.
What a way to start the show. No wonder he received an award at only the age of 5 years old. Mac Manaka, we'll be hearing from him later on in the show. Akuhlanga Lungehlanga ma-Afrika sinamukela futhi ohlelweni lethu lanamhlanje lapho sihlangene khona ngokuvalelisa iqhawe lamaqhawe utata uRholihlahla Nelson Mandela useliflathele elabaphilayo wakhothama. Sithi tutuzakani-ke Mzansi ngalezi zinsuku lezi zokubona umzimba katata nokuvuseleka kwamanxeba. Sethembe futhi ukuthi ngalezi zinhlelo siniphakela zona zokumkhumbula isizwe siyasizakala ngokuphola kweinhliziyo asoze sikhohlwe Madiba.
Uthethe inyani Rob, asoze sikulibale tata wethu, uzawuhlala ukwinhliziyo zethu nakwimimoya yethu. Siyabulela ngenkululeko le uyilweleyo ngobukho bethu. Tributes continue to pour in and people have come from all corners of the globe to pay their last respects to Tata Madiba as he inches closer to his final resting place. An emotional time indeed for all of us up in Mzansi Afrika.
Couldn't have said it better. 90, an emotional time indeed, bearing testimony as well to the fact that Madiba is well loved and respected not only here in South Africa but also globally. Now this is simply because Mandela stands out as a symbol of hope, of justice, of equality, reconciliation, and also of unity. And today marks the second day of Utata Nelson Mandela lying in state. And if you made your way to the Union buildings today, we would love to hear from you on your experience. Now your tweets, posts as well, and send them through SMS, and they're going to be forming part of our discussion tonight.
You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube channels at SABC1 Madiba. You can also send us your pictures and video clips of material you'd like to share with us on SABC1 Madiba at sabc.co.za. We'll also take your messages via SMS. Text the word Madiba, then leave a space followed by your message. The SMS line is 32728 at a cost of just R1. Start your message with the name Madiba followed by your message. This is your show, so please feel free to also let us know what you'd like to see more of on our shows. We now touch base with some of your messages that have been coming in today.
All right, and while you talk about the messages that are coming through, lots and lots of SMSs, and thank you so much for the feedback that we've been getting here on the show and what it means to you. But also not forgetting yesterday when people filed through to the Union buildings, Zelda Lechransi, we all know how close she was to Madiba and how much Madiba insisted on her being the person that he works with. And we saw her yesterday together with the likes of world-renowned musician Bono, also humanitarian, walking up, crying, very emotional. She tweeted saying, whether you knew him or not and how much time you spent or not is irrelevant. Any relationship with Madiba is in your heart. Honor that.
We shall honor that and we shall never ever forget that. We love you, Zelda, and we can't imagine the loss and the mourning that you're going through. A message coming through from Paul Jr. saying, RIP to you, Madiba. Mandela, you will always remain in our hearts. Thank you, Madiba. We shall forever be grateful for the gift of freedom that you have given us.
And also more tweets coming through. Fiona says that SA retailers salute you for giving your staff the day off to watch funeral proceedings and reflect on the passing of Madiba. And I think very, very noble indeed.
Very gracious, because we understand that the economy needs to move on. And this is what they have given you, the employees. So make the most of it. Make sure you take in every single moment of our sending off of one of our greatest spirits. Nokolamampa tweets as well and says, just got home from town. The queue to view Utata Nelson Mandela's body was just too long. Been waiting from 11 a.m. till 16:30 p.m. At least I tried. You did, Siswam, and don't ever feel guilty about that. See you in the afterlife, Madiba. You have done your part. Thank you. What a beautiful message.
Oh. It's been brilliant right through, and I think people might not be aware that ever since his passing and what we've been experiencing up here in Gauteng, and including today, have been thunderstorms, showers, and we talked about it in the memorial service as well, and what that means as far as traditional culture is concerned and where the destiny is. Now, people have continued to fall through. It was a sunny day early on in Pretoria, and as early as 4 o'clock, other people talk about 3:30 in the morning where they arrived to fall through past the amphitheater that has been recently renamed now the Nelson Mandela Amphitheater. Emotional scenes, but there was help that was available to guide people through. Super Sports United football team in the Premier Soccer League as well, the entire team, Goldfingers, Alex Shakwane there of Mamelodi Sundowns, Reverend Jesse Jackson, a whole lot of people coming through, Nati.
We keep on saying, blessed are we to be alive while Utata was walking this earth. Blessed are we to not learn by his legacy through textbooks, but to be alive while he is here. Blessed are we to be given the opportunity to say goodbye. A lot of people speaking about the fact that we can view umzimba kaTata ngoba ukustate at Pretoria. Kodwa ke into ebalulekileyo is that we have time to accept that he has finally gone. I think that is what a lot of people are going through. This lady being carried away now, the acceptance, the recognition, and just the understanding that Utata is no more, but his legacy shall forever live on. And I think this is the important message of today, and seeing these beautiful images of our beautiful rainbow nation. I was listening to Ban Ki-moon, and he was saying when rain meets the sun, that's what creates the true rainbow. And this is what we are blessed with, Ngoku, because we understand the gift of imvula when inkosi isiwa ihamba isiya kwizinyanya zayo, but more so he has left us with the beautiful colors of our rainbow nation.
Well, I think well put indeed, and no better way to end it like that. I mean, we can look at it in any different way. We want your feelings and your thoughts. And like we've been trying to re-emphasize as well, that if you made the journey, whether you got there and made it through to go and view or not, or you were part of the people that were disappointed, we want to share in your experience of what you've gone through today or the day before as well. Because people never give up. It was part of what Tata was about. You know, they say, but you've been waiting the whole day. And people keep on saying, you know what, 27 years versus an entire day.
Resilience. Resilience, Rob. Who are we to tire? Yeah.
All right, now the nation obviously in mourning still, and no stranger to us, yeah? Mteto, Chemeshe, good to see you again, Baba.
Thanks, Rob.
How would you pick up on what we've seen? Because now this was new ground that we've been treading, but people saying, no way are we going to be disappointed. And we see that again today, the filing through to the union buildings.
Well, I think for me there's something profoundly remarkable about people going past kwizindlu zomdibaniso, because for the first time abantu abayi kuba kukho umongameli baya because they feel but they have to go there to honor Tata Mandela. And I think what is also remarkable is that abantu bayaziyeka, bayazivumela. If they want to break down, they break down. You see abantu being helped, you see abantu being interviewed and talking as human beings. And I think in terms of our mourning process, I think we're starting to realize now that actually this is real. I mean, I come here and I see staff members who have to put this show together, and I go home and I think, I wonder how are they feeling, because now when I go home, like when I went to the memorial service, I was meant to go to the stadium. Then I went to the Nelson Mandela Foundation. I spent time at the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund. And I found myself so emotional because I started thinking, what does it mean for me? I think for me, we're starting to slowly realize that in fact, Tata Usishile and Abandu in their own ways are finding space to say, what does it mean for them? And I think the honesty that you see in those visuals, for me, is remarkable.
Tata, I think the reality check that we're all experiencing, iqale izolo namhlanje nangomso ngobona umzimba kaTata. Siqhelile thina kwaXhosa, nezinye inhlanga zalapha eMzantsi Afrika ziqhelile. But kukho abantu abangazange bayibona umzimba womuntu ongasekhoyo. khasixelele ngendlela ebaluleke ngayo ngobona umzimba that's lying in the state, because it's got a lot to do with closure as well.
I think unathi into efuneka siyibethelele into okubana abanye abantu even kwiifamily zabo noba bavumelekile babawubone umzimba, abanye abantu baye bakhethe ukungayi. Because ukutshilo uAlex Chakwane for instance benibukele i-interview esithi yena imbulele emphefumulweni intomboni Tata Madiba elola hlobo alulu, because sometimes we also want to remember umuntu ngohlobo ofuna umkhumbula ngalo ozawuphila ngalo. Into ebalulekileyo bekudala sithetha Rob na unathi into yobana funeka sinyamezelane sicengane kuba sinenkolo ngenkolo sivumele into yobana abantu benze ngohlobo oluphilisa bona. Kodwa ndigqithe nje kancinci kule ndawo into endikhathazayo ndibona kwi-social networks uba bekuthiwe ifowuni mazingabikho basihloniphe utata, bekuthiwe mangekho zi-cameras but ndiva amahembemba kukho umuntu oye wayofota utata. So while sisithi abantu masenze izinto ezahlukileyo sinyamezelane, imbeko yimbeko noba uloluphi na uhlanga.
Noba uloluphi na uhlanga.
Noba uloluphi na uhlanga.
Manje babeyenzile into enjalo abantu besibona isithombe mthetho benze njani abantu ngoba kubanzima, abanye bathi yazi ngoba mina bengifuna ukuya khona ukuyombona utata kodwa angikwazanga ukumbona mhlambe ngisekapa ongwenye indawo angikho la eGauteng, izongisiza leyo nto ukuthi ngisibone. Ozama usichazela ukuthi if umndeni uthe sicela ukuthi ningayithatha izithombe abantu baqhubeka ke bayoyithatha kusho ukuthini lokho?
Ithetha into ezininzi Rob, but I think for mina ngaphandle koba nje ndigxile kwinto yembeko ithetha ukuthi utata uMandela for me ireflecte into yobana utata uMandela sisoloko sifuna izinto kuye. Ndibe nenyhweba mna Rob yokusebenzela iNelson Mandela Children's Fund, but andinayo ipicture katata uMandela ngoku ndandinayo i-opportunity bandinganayo. And at that time ndandicinga uba no utata uMandela make ndimnike make ndisacrifice because ndiyayifuna le picture, you know, ndasacrifice uba ngoku ndiyifuna kakhulu make ndingayithathi, but my daughter has a picture with him. I think into esiyifumanisayo ngale nto abantu abamkhathalelanga abanye abantu utata uMandela baya nje bengakhathali. It's vulgar into yoba uya nje umuntu athatha ipicture. How can you do that? I think this is the time lo tata zonke into zibalwayo azisenzele zona namazwe nezinye inhlanga bezithethe uba usenzele zona. Into esinomnika yona inye Rob yimbeko. Xa ndishwangathela ezo ndiva nabanye abantu baziyakhala umzekelo abanye abantu e-Eastern Cape hayi kutheni memorial service ingazokwenzelwa apha e-Eastern Cape. Ngumuntu wethu lo utata uMandela ngumuntu wethu sonke, and utata uMandela wathi make sure into yobana noba uyile global leader abantu mabayabona inhlupheko yase-Eastern Cape le asuka kuyo. Iiplanes azikwazi ulenda eMthatha because of i-infrastructure. Utata uMandela uthi njengoba nisithi niyanithanda izanobona uba sisokola njani kwii-rural areas zaseMthatha. So for me utata uMandela ingathi even nasekuswelekeni kwakhe usicingele sonke because bonke abantu bakwazile ukwenza loo nto banothi bakwazi uyenza. So ndifuna abantu uba sibe nomonde siyazi uba utata uMandela masimkhumbule simphe isipho sikhulule inhliziyo zethu singamqumbeli.
Sicela sibele usapho olumamelayo inhloni ziyamakha umuntu uMzantsi Afrika. Duduzekani ma-Afrika, siyabulela Mthetho Chamese ngobukho wakho. Your contribution is much appreciated as all of us in the country and the world over try to deal with the passing of our icon. Dear South Africans, please remember the national toll-free line for bereavement counselling. Lifeline number is 0861 322 322.
All right, so we'll definitely come back with more of your messages. And when we come back as well, we look at Madiba, the leader, as he emerged from prison on that historic day back in 1990. Where were you? Let's rewind, let's reverse, and find out where you were at that moment. Stay with us.